From WFXB, the News 13 Network presents Fox News at 10.
The Federal Reserve announced yesterday it will release more stimulus money into our nation's economy. Thanks for being with us. I'm Amy Vitrano in for Wendy Redman. Tonight's Hot Fox 5 begins with a look at how we spend our money now.
If you look at the economy here, the tourism economy is doing really well, and it is all over the country. That has come back.
With consumers feeling more confident overall, where is the most money spent? This economist will tell you.
They're not just risking their lives, they're risking the lives of our employees.
Law enforcement and electrical cooperatives want to put an end to copper thefts. How they plan to do it. For the second time in 3 months, a prison guard is held hostage at the state prison in Bishopville. What state officials plan to do about it. A Bennettsville man accused of murder learned his fate last night as a jury of his peers found him guilty. Find out what the judge sentenced him to. And the annual South Carolina Tobacco Festival is underway in Lake City. We'll take a look at how the cash crop is celebrated and what's on the lineup for tomorrow. And that's tonight's Hot Fox 5. The Federal Reserve announced a new plan yesterday to spend $40 billion a month to buy bonds. The goal is to stimulate the economy by keeping interest rates low and encourage consumer spending. Some critics say, though, that's a bad idea. Bree Jackson shows you how people spend their money in tonight's top story.
While some consumers remain uncertain about the economy, economist Rob Savino says shoppers are still spending.
Just clothing, other apparel, just normal goods, electronics, those types, small electronics, things like that. Spending seems to be doing reasonably well.
An economist I spoke with say right now consumers are still looking for deals. They want good services at the right price.
We're a new business here, so people don't really know that we're here yet. So what I have to do is I have to do a lot of specials each week, each month to try to get people in, and it's been working.
Nolan recently opened this Market Common beauty salon. She says the economy has caused some customers to cut back on appointments. She says for those that return, she's offered them discounts.
We want them to be able to know that, yeah, we do know that you have bills, and we do know that the job market is slowing down, but at the same time, you can still look good. You can still get pampered, but at an affordable price.
And just a few doors down, stylists at this salon say tough economic times have not stopped consumers from investing in their own appearance.
When the economy is down, it's about the only thing that you can do to make yourself feel better, to feel good, look good.
This allows you to say, okay, I can go out and try to find another job, or this is my pampering time. We all need to be pampered sometimes.
Reporting for Fox News at 10, Bree Jackson.
And here's an interesting fact. Researchers say the sale of men's hair dye increased during the Great Depression. Well, as the economy continues to struggle, many people continue to struggle to put food on the table. As part of the United Way's 13th annual Day of Caring, the Low Country Food Bank sponsored a mass food distribution. It took place at the Church of Resurrection in Surfside Beach, where dozens of families received food boxes on a first-come, first-served basis.
There's families that are taking these canned goods, opening them up and eating them cold. So there's an awful lot of families trying to make it go. So if we're going to initiate a Day of Caring, a mass food distribution, helping those in the most desperate need is one of the greatest ways we can do this.
The United Way has coordinated this event for 13 years. South Carolina's top law enforcement agencies and electric cooperatives came together today to announce major plans to tackle copper theft. Such crimes have cost the co-ops alone about $1 million in the past 2 years, and you, the consumer, pay for it. Tonight, Patricia Burkett shows you how the law plans to crack down.
For the past several years, the value of precious metals climbed, as did the number of criminals stealing them to try to make a quick buck. Pretty soon, thieves identified a main target: electric companies that use copper to provide one of the services we all depend on each day.
Someone is risking their life for $2. They're not just risking their lives, they're risking the lives of our employees. Employees that go into a substation not realizing that something's energized because it has been tampered with, the copper's been taken out.
Before they knew it, electric cooperatives were faced with a problem that spiraled out of control, costing them $1 million in losses and repairs since 2011 alone. Now, though, they're partnering with law enforcement across the state to try to change that. and are using the appeal of the almighty dollar to put the bad guys behind bars. This new effort will give an added bonus to those reporting the crimes, now involving Crime Stoppers in the entire process and offering a potential reward for information that leads to an arrest.
This is just an effort to try and get more people to talk to us, get more people to give us tips about who these people are that's stealing these things, so that we can lock them up and put them behind bars.
SLED, the U.S. Marshals, and county and city agencies across the state will now work hand in hand with Crime Stoppers and the electric cooperatives. A tip that leads to an arrest in a copper theft case could net the informant up to $1,000, a drop in the bucket compared to the costs cooperatives and customers are now seeing as a result of the crimes. Reporting for Fox News at 10, I'm Patricia Burkett.
Electric cooperatives serve more than 1.5 million customers in every county in South Carolina. Horry County Police search for a killer. They say someone shot 44-year-old Herbert Diaz to death last night in the 3600 block of 701 South. That's just outside Conway's city limits, near the Pitch Landing Road intersection. No word on a motive, and again, no arrest. Meanwhile, in a separate fatal shooting in the Conway area, authorities caught 19-year-old Donovan Johnson and charged him with murder. Johnson is from Myrtle Beach. Police say they caught him hiding in a closet in an apartment in Conway. They say on June 8th, Johnson and Sheldon Butler shot and killed Jose Guiertes in a neighborhood off Ronald McNair Boulevard. Police arrested Butler in June and charged him with murder as well. A Myrtle Beach man who killed another man near Garden City last year will spend the next 30 years in prison. 23-year-old Sarah Castro pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter in the shooting death of Kevin Bowen. The judge then gave Castro the 30 years with no chance of parole. Castro shot Bowen after an argument outside Bowen's home in the Kings Grant neighborhood in March of last year. A Bennettsville man who killed his neighbor will spend the rest of his life in prison. A Marlboro County jury yesterday found Tyrone King guilty for last November's murder of James Galloway. The judge then sentenced King to life in prison plus 10 years. The state prison in Lee County is still on lockdown tonight after inmates took on a correctional officer hostage last night. The officer was later rescued and suffered minor injuries. Tonight, Robert Kittle explains what the Department of Corrections is doing to prevent future problems like this and how cell phones played a surprising part in this case.
It happened around 5 o'clock Thursday night at the Lee Correctional Institution in Bishopville. The Department of Corrections is still investigating to find out exactly what happened, but we know one officer was overpowered by inmates in a dorm. We wanted to know what the department is doing to prevent future incidents like this.
We thoroughly go through our policies and procedures to see if anything needs to be changed from a security standpoint. One thing good is we got it contained quickly. There was not a problem on the yard or in any other part of the facility. At no time was the public in danger.
He says they don't know yet whether the officer made a mistake or didn't follow policy, or inmates just saw an opportunity and took it. For years, the Department of Corrections has been fighting illegal cell phone use by prisoners. Ironically, though, in this case, they were talking to some inmates who had cell phones, and that helped the officers find the hostage. 2 years ago, Robert Johnson was in charge of finding contraband at Lee Correctional, where this latest incident happened. He says an inmate used a cell phone to put a hit on him, and someone broke into his house and shot him.
6 times, right in my stomach and chest area.
The department wants to use jamming technology that would block cell phone signals inside prisons, but the Federal Communications Commission won't allow it. So we asked what the department is doing about cell phones.
We're working a lot closer with local law enforcement about trying to prevent these illegal cell phones from getting in, and we're having some success.
And he says they do shakedowns every day looking for cell phones and other contraband. Reporting for Fox News at 10, I'm Robert Kittle.
The department says it doesn't know yet how many inmates were involved, but they do know some of the inmates who were. They were moved to other facilities and faced loss of privileges and possible charges. Well, the 2012 shrimp baiting season opened today at noon in South Carolina waters. Recreational shrimpers who buy a shrimp baiting license can legally cast their nets for shrimp over bait during this season, which runs until November 13th. Lake City celebrates its cash crop this weekend with the annual South Carolina Tobacco Festival. It takes place downtown around Village Green near Lake City's Historic Bean Museum. The 58th annual festival kicked off last night and continues tomorrow night. Its organizers look forward to giving visitors a positive look at Lake City.
This is an opportunity for us to showcase our hospitality and these wonderful new venues that we have. A lot of buildings around the Village Green were once in dilapidated condition, and they've had a breath of new life put into them.
The band Oz plays tonight until about midnight if you still want to make it out. Then tomorrow, look for South Carolina's largest yard sale, as well as more bands, a barbecue cook-off, and a classic car show. There's also a lot more, including lots of things for young people. And we still got more to come here on Fox News at 10, including a new world's hottest spot. Here's a hint. Americans won't have to travel too far, but don't worry, that's not around here, especially with the temperatures we've seen, right, Frank?
Yeah, temperatures have been below normal the last several days. We're going to get closer to normal tomorrow. I'll let you know what that means for the weekend forecast coming up.